helping you with Acorn and RISC computing.
Well, good evening, everybody. Tonight is going to be an off-the-cuff, ad hoc talk. I'll keep thinking of bits that I could do tonight and bits I might not bother doing. But one thing I will be covering is, and you're getting a unique advanced viewing of the very, very latest version of the Irish web browser. 1.037, very, very latest one. I've got the Advantage early version to show to you, sent to me specially. So I'll be showing that in a little bit. I'm going to share my screen in a bit, but the sort of topic I'm going to try and cover in various levels will be taking a peek at Pinboard 2. Some of these topics I'm covering because people have raised issues around certain things like Pinboard 2 and some of the Irish features and IPP printing and that, and don't seem to realise we can do some of this, or some of the features they don't realise are there. So I'm going to show one or two things in various areas, and try and show you some of the features. Right. Hopefully you can see my screen at the moment. I'm actually doing this on my secondary machine. It's the 4TE2, so it's not quite as fast as my current machine, which is the next machine with the CM4 in. This is a 4B, 4 gig of RAM, etc. Right. Pinboard 2. This is the basic desktop. I've got one or two things on there, like a thing I've pinned a few things that I'm going to use. One of the things that keep cropping up mainly by people is, how do you cover a picture to cover the whole desktop, including the taskbar or icon bar, as it's called here. And there are several things within the configure option to do it. Now, before I go to show that, I'll show one or two other things within the Pinboard configure. There are a couple of other things we can do within the miscellaneous section. You can turn on always configure delete to prevent you accidentally deleting something. And you can also turn on the show option on the drop down menu. Info, I should say, rather. And you can try the options if you want before you make them live. Well, I'll just make them live anyway. But you can also turn on display information when hovering over a pin. I will turn that on and show you what that does. Right, now, what that does, I'm going to have to set it, I think. I've got to hover for 3 seconds. Is it going to do it? No, it's not going to do it because I haven't set it. Okay. It doesn't like doing it. Oops. Oof. Right, it's on the info thing. I've now got an info which wasn't there originally, which shows you the current version, which is the current version 207 from this year. What should be happening? Well, oops, it should be displaying. There it is. It shows you the information for the icon. I've probably got it set for too long an item on that. So if I look at this one, I can go back to miscellaneous. Just it's set for 3 seconds. So if I set that to 1, I'll turn it off because it starts to irritate me. But there we are. It comes up performance meeting. It shows you the path of where the file is. It will show you where the path of the file is. Oh, got one there. So you can see where the thing if you need to. I tend to tend to turn it off nowadays. I did it more when I was trying it out. So I leave the info one on because it can be useful. Some of the things they've done to fix some of the problems. There was a slight problem with the grid, especially for bigger items. I tend to use large display icons, but you can have normal icons which are smaller. They look too small to me. Or really small ones. Now I'll go back to big. And there are things like that you can do that's flexible. You can unlock, you can lock it. If I push a lock position, it locks that. Although we have found from the discussion going on in the RComp mailing list that there was found another situation where you can actually accidentally make it completely disappear. It's not deleted, it just disappears off your desktop. You can do other things like I can create a sticky and all the rest of it, but what I'm more interested in at the moment is showing you how to get the icon bar thing. What you need to do, you can use JPEGs or sprites. The JPEGs get converted to sprites on the fly. They need to be full screen. And if you cache, it's actually slightly quicker because it converts them from one to the other. Now, I'll just take that. Let me just take that out. I'll make it 10% at the moment. If I try that, you see it has actually started to cover it. If I go 100%, it doesn't. There's no thing. You can actually go right down to 0. And even the little line had disappeared. So it means you get the picture covering the whole screen. Now the other thing is, of course, you can actually have a carousel of pictures. And just to think, which one is it? I'll change the colours on that. I'll have to change them back again. Which one? Oh, that's one. Some of these pictures have been nicked from the PC side of the world. They're free, so what the heck. What I can do is I can drop that folder onto there, and I'll change the interval to, I don't know, let's make it in other words, every minute. It will now change the picture every minute in the background. The pictures I've used are actually JPEGs. You quite happily do any of them, doesn't matter which one to do. And in 60-second time, it automatically changed them. I think I better save that. There you are, JPEG. I've got the I've got a different photograph. And you know, as many of these as you want, rotating on a carousel frequently as you want. That's one of the most common things that people couldn't understand, how you got to cover the whole screen, including behind the icon bar. The reason people were going wrong with that was because they were not using full screen. They were using scaled or tiled or centered, and not understanding that you need to have it full screen, so it makes it fit the whole screen. That's one of the biggest things that people have missed or not understood. I tend to have mine pretty much on 0, but I have a 300 second normally on my normal machine. You can change the font blending on this. You may have noticed I've got yellow going at the moment. And it's using, not quite sure why. Okay. Should be black, but never mind. But you can arrange it so to stack in various ways. Now, stickies, again, some people have raised questions about the stickies. I will create a sticky. By default, the file is saved in the choices pinboard stickies. You can actually change that location, and it uses a 12 point. You can change that again. But I'll create a sticky. And you'll see a little star there. It tells you it's on save. Press F3 and it's now saved. It will reappear in the same location you got on screen after a reboot. You can give the title bar a name. You can change the font. I can set a title. Yep. You can change the foreground color, background color. So make it. These all three settings are saved and will come back the next time you reboot. One of the things that you can actually export the file as well, text file, or select if you highlight some of it, you can actually export selection. If you have several lines, you could export several sections or whatever. You can change the font. It's probably best to leave it on Homerton, but you can change it to whatever font you want. Now let's just try and work out why that is. Text up, I've got turn that off. That should just change. That's right, yeah. Now it doesn't show the. You may remember I had a black box around it. I've turned that off. Turn that back on again and use the try button, and you can see it will. That one's got a black border around it. The icon text color should be black, but it doesn't show very well, so I'll make it white. See if it shows it white. See if we try that. See if it can change that. Oh, I don't know. That's better. I've got to use the. Yeah, like the white now. So yeah, the other thing you may notice, I've got what they call a watermark. Present, I'll set it for there. I can move it about. I can move it down there and try it down here somewhere. There you are, moved it about. It's just a draw file. So with it, you can have a draw file with Sprite or JPEG and drop it in there, and you can scale it to different levels. 8%, which will actually be 79%, but there we are. Put it up there somewhere. I actually got a different version now, white lettering as well for the other machine, but you can do all that, and I can set it and I remember it. Really, that covers a lot of what's in Pinboard 2. You can drag files on here, of course, from your thing. Another thing that somebody did mention, they had a problem with Pinboard when they were using Reporter. They kept seeing loads of errors on the Reporter. Now, Reporter Pinboard 2 uses the X character before each line of the telling where all these icons are. And that is because you can actually have something from a network share on here, but if the share isn't available, or even share FS for that matter, if it isn't available, it will not generate an error on screen. It does it just quietly goes past it. And that's why sometimes you see loads of errors on there. It's showing that it couldn't find something, but it's not generated a stopping error that brings an error box up in the middle of the screen or whatever, interfering with you. So that is a lot of what the pinboard. You can open up there is actually a pinboard directory, which is the default one, which I was mentioning earlier from where was it? I show it somewhere. Sticky, there we are. It shows what's in there, and what I'll do is I'll actually save the sticky because you haven't actually saved it yet. I will save the that's the pinboard, but where was the sticky? Not showing it. Oh, flex memory. Ooh, that's a naughty error. I haven't seen that in a long time. We generated an error from it. Oh, but you look, it got the bottom bit still there. That's unusual. Oh dear. Looks like I'm gonna have to reboot that. All right, I'll have to go for a reboot. Sorry about that. Modern technology for you. Always goes wrong. It should automatically reconnect if I'm lucky.
Doesn't seem to want to restart either.
Yeah, it just also takes it time to restart, but it won't. It coming up, it's reconnecting. There we go. Oh, okay. It's dropped my sharing. All right. Let's go one. It dropped. Oh, it dropped it completely. Okay. Okay. Technical glitches, as they say. Technical glitches. Right. We'll drop out of that again and reopen the sharing window. That's better. That one. There we are. I'll reduce the screen resolution. Yeah. Unfortunately, when I lost all the icons, could have gone and moved them all off screen. I'll go back again. Classic. I didn't save them before I moved them all. 2 seconds. Okay. Way over here somewhere. Dump them over there. Oops. Can't reset them again. Do that. Okay. All right. Okay. I'll dump that lot there. I'll make sure pinboard's saved this time. Sorry about this. It's slow because we're using a VNC connection. So, right now, the first thing I'm going to do is I will save the pinboard, so it saves all that. Well, you may have noticed the sticky reappeared regardless. That's saved automatically. Okay. Sorry about that. That's pretty much pinboard. That's the first time I've seen an error on pinboard 2 in quite a long time. So I'll have to look at that and let Andrew will let you know if it's a repeatable error. Anyway, I'm going to take us on to Irish. This is the brand new 1.037, which is being released tonight after the meeting. Basically, there's been a number of fixes and some enhancements, and hopefully it is better. I have it launched to RAM disk. Now, one of the things they've been doing is Andrew's been tidying up a lot of the files inside Iris, so the file size overall is now smaller than what it used to be. It's now 170. 170, yes, 170. So when you get the new version, don't drop it over the old one, because otherwise it'll be too big for the RAM disk. It just adds, it's got loads and loads of old files on it, so just move the old version out of the way and put the new one in place. As long as you don't touch anything in choices, it'll just pick up and work. Now this is 1.1037. It is slightly slow on the 4TE2 because obviously it's a slightly slower processor. Just to see, it is 1037, 21st July, very latest version. Some of the choices have been changed and updated. There's some new choices. Some are unchanged, logging, downloads, user agent. I'll come back to that in a minute. Fonts, of course, bookmarks. We've got some slightly improved that. Display, what you can do. Two of the main changes are sessions, where you can obviously start up with no window, open a blank window with your home page, or a last save session. But also, to help try and reduce crashes, they've now got one for all windows and tabs, one per window, one per tab. I tend to leave it on the top one, but it's entirely up to you. You can try it out, your option as your pleasure. The new option here is startup. I'm not quite sure what I call it, startup, but anyway, it's to do with PDFs and the claiming of the PDF. It now can be set to only grab the PDF for Iris if it's running, if Iris is actually running, or even when not running, so it'll grab it as if it's the first application, or never. There is another, where was it? I think it's on the general. Yes, UJIT. I'll come and show you the difference that can make in a minute. I'm going to temporarily set it to never. I'll set it. In fact, I'll turn it off. I'll remove that to be safe. Because I want to show you something. Where are the documents? Oh, I've lost the documents. Never mind. I'll have to find them again. Okay. Right, now that's the default PDF that most people use, or PDF test, which is slightly better. I'm going to look at a couple of documents. Let's have a look. Oh, we'll try. Oh, I know what. Right. Now, well, and you can see it doesn't look fantastic. You can improve it by going, oops, there you are, got a fail from it, which is what half expected. What you can do is, where's the damn thing now? PDF test, and open it again. Hopefully it'll open this time. And again, it looks pretty rubbishy. You can actually try. Oh, it killed it again. Some corruption somewhere. Let's see if I can see what causing it. On there. Well, I've actually got rid of it. So. Okay, well, anyway, basically they didn't display the graphics in the program properly, but you can use a program when I can find it. Utilities. I'll put in utilities called MU View. If it's behaving itself, we'll put it onto there. And that's what you should see. And you page down to scroll down the page, and you can go through the pages. And that's a way of getting around the PDF problem, PDF test, which is not displaying the stuff. But you now have a new option of, I'll get rid of that for safety, and fire up Iris. Oh yeah. And I'll change the setting. It remembers it because it was done as a save as a set, so that's all right. And I've opened that up. It'll open it in the latest version of Iris. And you'll notice there's several new features. Page width, actual size, page fit. You can do all these options now. I'll put it actual size. Now this is without the JIT turned on. So it takes a little bit longer. I'll show you what happens when I put JIT on. Let's get the page back up again. You can also, probably something. It's just like it will start showing all the pages down the side here as well. Taking a long time on this machine. Come on. Oh, it's taking a long time. I will now start doing the rest of the pages. We'll scroll down and start doing the rest of the pages. The save box is now a more friendly RISC save box. I've had to go back to that because they found there was some problems with the other way they were doing it. The JavaScript, as you can see, it's starting to develop the pages. It's a little bit slow because it's intensive. Down to page 8, so it's just not displaying it all. Right. Other things that people may not have noticed is that you can actually do some other things with this thing. If we click on here, it gives you a load of options to go to first, last, rotate, and you can change the type of scrolling. You can have horizontal scrolling, so yeah, go sideways. A little bit slow on this machine because it's oops. Move it on page. You can just click on the thing and it'll take it to the page. So it's fairly fast at moving. When you set it up, it is fairly fast. Now I was saying about JIT. Let's come out of this and oopsie daisy. Right, this is the one we've been looking at. Now I'm going to try to put the JIT on. Use JIT, set it, don't save it. And it remembers your settings, by the way. And it remembers what page I was looking at previously. And you can see that it's now actually building up the pages quicker. A lot quicker because you get with the JIT turned on. So sometimes if you just want to look at a few PDFs, you can now turn the JIT on, but you remember to turn it off afterwards and save with it turned off by default. Because the JIT uses some of the thumb2 commands which aren't generally in our RISC machines. configurations, ROMs or whatever you like to call them. I'll turn this back on to vertical scrolling. See, it's quite flexible. And scrolling down, it's still building the pages up. So you can show various options, show layers. If you have more than one layer, you can move to a page, you can move downwards or upwards. You can search, do a finding and search. You can find by or match case. You can do full search. You can't print yet. Printing does not work. It's because of the way JavaScript works with it, they're proving a big headache how they get that to work. They will get it working eventually, but it's a lower priority. But you now can save with, let's say, with a RISC standard download box. But also one of the other changes they've introduced. One thing, you also have document properties, so it tells you how big it is and when it was created, etc., etc. You now have, I'll turn that off. We now have two new options. You can now, I'll pick a different color, use the standard color picker. So I could put in, so you can put little notes on your document, on top of your document, and then save it. Supposing I wanted to put, I don't know, put some text. Where am I going to put it? I'll put it down here. There we are. I'll type in yeah. You could save that version of your PDF with that text in, or you can even do drawing. Yes, you can do crazy drawing stuff if you want to. So you can have drawing. We can start drawing lines and whatever we want. If you want to highlight something, put it in black, I'll make it green. It's now made it green. So you can do all sorts of things with it. If you want to highlight something and print out a version of that document with your notes on it, or text to highlight a particular item in it. One of the new features that just come out, or will be coming out tonight. After this meeting, it'll be available for download from the usual place. There are still the two versions, but they have both been made smaller to download. As I say, I've just spent quite a bit of time sorting that out. I'm not going to save it for obvious reasons, but so I bought it. One of the things you can do, you can, let's see if I can find something that's slightly different. It's a bit big. You can drop it directly onto the icon. And it will eventually load it. And sometimes you have it on actual size rather than thing, but there we are. A note on there. So you can also drop it. You can also, supposing I'll get rid of that, I'll just open up a web page, start menu. You can, in fact, drop it onto the window, and again, it will open up the PDF. So, to be honest, I now use RISC as my PDF reader, simply because it works with everything I've thrown at it, basically, and it renders the graphics and that correctly. It handles the new PDF 1.7 version which your PDF and PDF test can't handle. MU View could just about handle it. But if you've got Iris, you might as well use the PDF feature built in. You may have noticed that, I'll just turn off the JIT again. I'll make sure I save that setting. Right. You may have noticed that I have added some of our own web links onto the home page. Very easy to do. It's just it's a text file. That's an HTML text file inside Iris. Open it up a minute. Home, and that's all it is. This file. I open it up. It's just a text file. You can add on the things at the bottom as you want. That's all I've done there. I've just added on the bits at the end there. So you can add more of your own if you want to. You may have noticed one of the other things that's happened is it's not using Google now. It's using Start Page, which actually is a front end for Google. The reason that happened is because, as some people found out, we couldn't do Google searches anymore. And that's because Google and the infinite wisdom added some extra features onto their search page that were not compatible with all browsers. That was deliberate because they wanted to try and make more people use Chrome and certain features. There was a way around it, because what it was doing, it was using the user agent to detect what type of browser you were using, or checking to see how new it was. What was suggested, and I'll show you because I've done it, is to create a new user agent, and that's the one I've created there. Firefox 96, RISC 5.31. I think some people have done it 5.3, but it doesn't make any difference. To add a new one, you just type in a new one where that says and click on add to the list. And it will add it onto the list, and as long as you save it, it will remember it. I can change to a different one if I want to. So bottom three, I think, are I remember rightly, are more iPad, iPhone, Android phone type thing. Some of the ones at the top. They may be adding some new ones on in due course, but doing that seems to have got around a lot of websites that are being fussy, which made a lot difficult. You don't have to do it, but you can do it. Some websites where you have problems, Argos used to be one of them. It wouldn't work with the standard one. You had to pick, I think it was that one. Quite an old, sorry, that one. You have to go back to MSI, IE, to get it to work, which was really bizarre. When I looked at the header information, I found it was checking for Internet Explorer. They never bothered updating their header information on their website. I did point it out. I think they have now tweaked it. The biggest problem I find at present with Iris is if you hit some web pages that are being validated through Cloudflare. Sometimes it checks to see if you're human. Unfortunately, sometimes it goes into a continuous loop. It says, yes, I'm a human. No, goes round it again, round and round and round and round a circle continuously. But yes, I've hit one through website to use Cloudflare, and it does it, and it said, yeah, you're human, you can come in. So I think it's the way the company has set up, configured their checker to see if we're human or a robot. And as you say, you can go to both websites, and it is a lot quicker now, a lot more stable. You have, obviously, you've got, for those who don't know, you can actually have you can have the bookmarks, show the bookmarks, you can see all the bookmarks you got both on the bookmark bar, and the other ones you can order them, change them, etc. You can delete ones you don't want anymore. One, delete that, and gone. One of the things is also you can have history, shows you history, see all the pages are budgeted, and you can actually click on one of them and go back to that page again. So you can do things like that. It covered, I think it's up to, I think the history is set for 28 days, I think it is. Yes, history, 28 days, and then it'll expire the oldest ones. You can fonts. You can actually nick them from that other platform. I think it starts with the letter W. As I've done, I've nicked a few there. They were basically freebies anyway, but I also had licenses for them anyway. So, and you can change the fonts as you want. I've used not on this machine; it's on the other machine. I've added them on. You nick them and you put them into inside. Up in Irish. Where is it now? I think it's resource from Bradley. Yeah, you drop them in there. 2 typo OTF fonts. You can drop them in there. You find they're in there. You drop it in there, and that font becomes available after you've restarted the Irish. So that is literally Irish. The password just there. You can say password. One word of warning about that: if you move Irish from one machine to another, the password itself are encrypted. So if you move from one machine to another, your password just scrambled. It's something I might have suggested they look at dealing with, because some people will want to move from one machine to another, a way of sort of backing up the thing and be able to transfer them to a new machine or whatever. It will come. It's on their list to look at and do, but they're giving priority to getting the main feature working. One of the things you can do is also, where is it? About Irish, it shows you what user agent you're using, the current WebKit, with the pattern they have updated again with this version, and you can see the GTK version that's being used. So it's on a newer, yet another newer version of WebKit. It's an ongoing problem because web browser never stopped being developed at the end of the day. So it's virtually a permanent beta because you're playing constant catch up with the likes of Google and Firefox and what have you. And I found it quite thing. I use it. I very rarely use NetSurf. This will access a lot more sites than other people can access. And just to see if it's in there. Yes, there it is. The 2 new July versions are there. The one I'm using, by the way, is the default one. I haven't bothered using the extra libs, but you may have noticed the file size have gone down quite a bit. Also, you may notice I'm actually using Irish RAM, which copies it into the RAM disk, but it's not essential that we do that. You don't have to do it on the faster machine. It doesn't make much difference, to be honest. I do recommend you try and have 2 gig of memory available for web browsing, simply because so many pages have an awful lot of large graphics. Let's put it that way. Some people bought surprising graphics. I came across a site the other day that used pictures that were 12 megabytes, and there were about 8 of them on the home page. And you can imagine how long it took just to download the picture before we even got the text. It was just, they hadn't webized them, basically.
Chris, there's been a few questions and comments in the chat about Iris and Pinboard, if you want to just run through those.
Hang on a second, I'm not seeing the, oh, there we are, okay, right, okay. Let's have a look. Pinned on the desktop. No, there's no limit, as far as I'm aware, to the limits of the pinned on the desktop. You can fill the desktop up with pins. I have about I've never tried actually. So just can I play that small? Oh, yes, you can. I've never tried that before, but yes, you can. There's no limit as far as I'm aware. It's thing. By the way, you may notice one is without a pin in it at all, and that is because it is a well, it's basically I didn't show it. I'll show the folder. They're actual being dragged onto the desktop. This is where I've created a folder on the desktop live, so I can create a new directory, or I don't know, X, Y, Z, and there you are. You can actually create a directory, and it's just like a normal directory then, but it's saved in the Pinboard save files. All the others are actually being dragged from the file window. PDFSJS, I believe it is. They have to do a lot of work to get it to work. I'm quite amazed at what they managed to get done. Lady PDF version is 2. Yeah, well, I don't know where I haven't come across one with a 2 on it. If I do, I'll obviously test it. Where from? So I'm not sure I understand that one. Oh, that's where the location is. Okay. Yes, the latest magazine is March 25, unfortunately. Steve's got to find time to do another issue. He's also into amateur dramatics, and he's the chairman of an amateur dramatic thing. They've been rather busy with summer shows, etc. Oops, something new one. What's this? Yes, we're still short. We're always wanting more articles. We are always wanting more articles. We've got to try and get 12 issues out a year. We have got a number of articles, but we are it's finding time, and sometimes we have to keep appealing for articles to appear. It don't have to come from members. Non-members can send articles in as well, and they will get a free copy of the newsletter, and also or potentially entered into the draw at the end of the year for the Contributors Award. So yep, so I think I've covered all the questions. Right, what was it? Right, okay. Right, okay. One of the other things is Lockscreen. Now, I don't know how many of you have seen or used Lockscreen or know about it. It's a way of similar to what PCs and Mac machines do and that. Now, to be honest, there's actually on this particular machine, there's 2 different versions of with my computer system. I use the full version because that's what I have a license for, but also when you got a 40E, you've got a cut down version of the lock screen as well. I'll show you the full version at the moment. Oops, they are not been seen by the machine because it's seen it. It will. That's because it's trying to run the old other version. There we are. I have actually. Just trying to pick up the other one. Okay, this is the full version. There are various options. You can set it so that it comes up with a screen locked as you start up the machine. I don't do that. I tend to have it come up and things. But if you've got other people in the room, you don't want to see a thing, you can have it so when you turn the machine on, it starts up in the lock screen. I have mine set for 15 minutes with no activity, 15 minutes. You can do it for various times. Things, no activity. There's only me here, so it doesn't really make much difference nowadays. You can activate power monitoring, saving. So you can actually turn so it turns on the DPMS to put the monitor into like standby. So just a second. When you set things up, you can set it up to show different images, random images, no images, light images, dark images, right, so on. Show the current time, show date, and use it, or use the color if you want to. You can do logging. I normally have that turned on and show a log. Now, you also set a password up. I should have a password set up. It might be getting confused with the localized issue. You can have a variety of backdrops. They do supply a default one, or you can have your own selection of backdrops now. You can set up different resolutions of screen. They can be sprites. They usually have to be sprites, but you don't have to have them sprites. You can use thing. I have a set of them, yeah, mainly thing, and they'll randomly go through that. Let me just cancel that for a minute. Don't know if I can do it without it causing thing. If you have the 4TE or what they call it, I forget what it goes under a different name, but it's the same thing. The lock screen, and you can see it's a reduced screen. You don't have the option to do the backdrops, you just get the default one and that. Not sure why I say not the password, but anyway. I tend not to use that because I have the full version. So okay. Some reason I've forgotten the password, probably getting confused between the two. If I lock the screen now, okay. And that's what you get. You get a random backdrop showing the date, time, which you can turn on or off. In this case, the password seems to have been forgotten, so I just hit enter. You can always click on that and set a password, which I'll have to do later again. So let's put that. Now, the other thing you can do, you can actually save this to the desktop. So if I go on there, save it, just activate it, and it's done there now. You go through thing. You cannot get out of it by using escape, control break, or any of the normal get out of jail things. That the whole purpose of lock screen to prevent other people getting in. Word of warning, if you get the password wrong, and it's case sensitive, if you get the password wrong 3 times, you do get a show hint chance if you're not, that you've saved a hint, hopefully, for your password. Then it becomes disabled and you have to go asking Mr. Rawnsley for some help to get access to your encrypted password. I think he has a secret backdoor password that you can get in to clear it. I've never had to do it, and I'm not aware of anybody having, but it's very effective. It works. It does the job. Oops. So say you can turn on those, turn off those. I just now save that. Yeah, well, I'm saying that. See, it's now got no date and time on. So right, I put I don't know, password in some procedure. It will say incorrect password. Press enter, and it'll show the log file will show when it was done, failed, what the password that somebody tried to use on your system. I use it all the time. I use the full version on my main machine, but some people obviously haven't got it, just got part of their LTE application or whatever. PyTools, I forget PyTools it used to be called, and you can use that. You don't really need it now on some of the newer machines because obviously the options have changed. You can change things like the CPU performance. Not too bad. Some of these is not necessary now on the new machine, but anyway. There you go. We'll turn the options back on again. Oops. On the wrong screen. Oh, you may have noticed I'm doing that. Well, oops. Now, one of the two of the tools I use, you may have noticed that I'm going down to the icon in the right-hand corner. So instead of going to hard disk and double-clicking on boot to open up configure, I go down to here and right-click. Much more, to me, more natural to do it. Or you can go through that way if you must, but just right-clicking brings up the configuration window, and you might say, well, how am I doing that? Because it's not in the default RISC build. It's not. It's being provided by an add-on, provided by a program called, find it, there we are. Tamac. Written by Martin Allison. He actually wrote it for Pluto fame and that. He actually wrote it, and you can actually set it to do other things than just do that. But by default, it will automatically, if you have it run at startup, it will set. So you right-click and it opens up the configuration window. To me, I would have said personally, I think it should be part of the standard RISC build, but for some reason, Rule didn't want to do it because they were thinking it might do something else when you right-click on the icon. But that was about 7 years ago, and nothing happened since. So if something comes up, then fine, I'll change it. There are a number of things that people might not realise you can do. Sometimes a program will, oh, sorry, before I forget, something I've forgotten to show you. In Iris, a bug that has been occurring with Iris was to do with local web pages being shown as text files instead of HTML files displaying the thing, and also when you went to the help file, say on this one, it will also going to the start of a chapter instead of to a subsection. It now works correct with the latest version out today. They've now fixed that problem, so it goes straight to 210. So in this case, it goes to the 2 section. If I go there, or if I go so So instead of just, I can go to the start, or I can now go to a proper section and I can go to the contents, and I can now go wherever I want to go in there. I could go and it will now tell me the correct subsection. What it was doing, it was not recognizing that bit at the end of the URL. They've now fixed that, so it now works correctly again. So that's another bug that's been quashed, there's a thing. So it affected the ones that I noticed it affected was impact and RISC OSM. One of the other things people don't always realise is that you have I tend to use Landman 98 for accessing my NASs and other machines. And if I go show this, I've got a number here. Some of these are obsolete now, but that's loaded up to DS3. It's launched it, and it's showing the whole drive. But I might not want the whole drive. I might just want part of the drive, and I may not want to see it in big text, big icon. Now, double click on this, hopefully. I have an obey file here, which will do what I've just done. If I close that down, it will actually open it up. And it just does exactly what I've just done there with a shortcut. Excuse me. What it does, you use the command connect 98, the name of the server, sorry, the LAN 98 name you've used for it, the actual server or IP address, which part of the server you want, and then the login details. And here it tells you file directory open, just like you do a normal filer, and that. But I can do things like and you see me do it this way. I now do this. It now does it with long full names. You can also do it short name. You can do all the commands that you would do for a normal file window. You can use small icons, large icons, full, or even, and you can even do sort on these or that. All here is a switch in the thing. I have a number of these now because it saves me going to search all the way through my photos or document. I can go straight to an area that I'm regularly using, and it will automatically do that. I think it's this one. I'll try and make it. I'll change that. I'll save that. Hopefully it'll work. And there we are. It has. I've now used a subfolder within the photo thing on the volume, the NAS, Synology NAS, and says I want to use that. And you can go several levels deep if you want to go. I don't know. Should be all right. Try that. And there we are. We've done that. And I can still open that up at the full size if I really want to. So you can create multiple WAV files if you want to save you, so you can do edit for that quite happily. One other tip that I can't remember whether I've actually done it on this version, but I'll soon check. In the boot, inside boot choices boot, I have, if I remember rightly, yes, I've put Landman 98 in the boot task, which means on startup Landman 98 is immediately available for use, which helps like for safe store, for backing up or whatever. It's available immediately. Save a few seconds, and it just makes it, I think, slightly smoother. As I say, I've got quite a few of these bay files now. Want to realise you could do it. So lots of little things you can do to help make your life a little bit easier around what you do. One of the other things people get stuck on, I don't know whether it's, see if I've got it on this version or not. Yeah, this is Fireworks. This is Fireworks Pro. It might be too old in the version. This I'll check which version this is. Oh no, that one's right. Supposing I go to spreadsheet. Oh no, I've got something in it. Save it. Oh, I'll save it too. Now sometimes, I'm always going to do it to me on, no, not on this time. Sometimes when leaving a program, or if something's gone weird, the hourglass is stuck on. And it doesn't stop things working, it's just more of an irritation than anything else. There's a simple way of stopping it. You can even create a bay file if you want to put it on the top, on the desktop to save you doing it, but the simple thing is you do H4 and it will turn off the, I want to try, I don't know, I'm going to find something I can make it do an hourglass on. Do that. No, it's not going to do it, unfortunately. There's also H on if you want to turn the hourglass on to make it come on and off. Well, I suppose I'm going to try that actually. I don't really have H on. Yeah, it's on at the moment. H turned it off. So if you do get the hourglass stuck on, you can actually turn it off quite easily. Now you may have noticed I had to do Control F12 there to bring the task window up. Well, there was a discussion, I think, in one of the Usenet groups the other week, and I wasn't aware this thing existed, but it does. I'll open the file again because I lost it. Public is the Control F12 tip. Again, Martin Davidson has spotted it, and it actually mentioned in a discussion, but it's actually available at that location. And it's a program that swaps F12 and Control F12. Now, just to prove that, I'll have it in download, I think it is. Download. Oh no, not. I'll put in utilities. It is a utility. I haven't put it on by default yet, but I will be doing so in the next few days. I can find it. Oh, must move it. Oh, there it is. Can't see the wood for the trees. I actually come with several little pieces with a little README file that tells you what it does. But it's the module that's important. That. Control F12 brings it done down. We'll now do this thing at the bottom of the screen there. So if I now do F12, it now opens up the task box. Does the opposite. In other words, it's switched over. Now you get the task window, which is quite neat and quite handy. And I'll be putting that on my machine main machine by default tonight, possibly. It's just one of a number of little tips that can be that come out every so often. Somebody found it. Now, IPP printing. Let's see if I can. Now we're going to try this one from. Let's clear the decks, all bits and pieces. I do have it set up on my other machine, but not on this one. Basically, I'll put it in the right. There are several parts to IPP printing. IPP printing allows internet printing protocol, which also is AirPrint, or I think it uses the Morphia system again. There's two different ways of doing it: URF, and the actual main thing. Now, I'll open up so you can see them in the printed numbers. The IPP and URF both use a similar method of getting printing to your printer that uses a standard, would you believe, allows you to print. Not all printers have it. Most inkjet do, as indeed mine does. Mine's an Epson, but Canon's have it as well. Some laser printers also have it, especially some of the newer ones. If you see it saying AirPrint advertised thing, then you can do IPP on it. Now, this has all been done by one person who's done some work to get it working. It means I can set it up on my machine and print directly to my inkjet without having to launch Uniprint to print via the PC. And it does work. There are one or two quirks because different printers aren't quite always following the supposed standard, which makes it a pain in the backside. But first thing you've got to do is effectively add the printers to your printer application, which means I've got to go back a level. I'll go back. That lot. Yeah, I've had them on today. They should now be in there. Yes, they are. They're in there. That's the first thing you need to do, otherwise they're not going to work. Put a printer on. Printer actually on. You need to try and find it. Now, you may send a request waiting for a response. It doesn't always work on this one. Two different ways of getting the details. It's not reacting to it. It's not found it, basically. Oh, there it is. It then drops off. And you can type in your URL if you know what it is. As an alternative. Now, you can get all these things. What you really need, the one that actually works, is that one. Bring that out of its little hidey hole. Better. But before you need to do that, you do need to set the printer drive up. So, on the printer. Whoops, we're making noises. best thing here, go for the help file. Why not? Help file there for the reason. There's a help file and it tells you what thing. So you got to create egg printer definition file. And it gives you all the instructions, all the details there. What I haven't done is set up the printer. So let's see if it's showing it there. Where is it? There's a bit done there. Okay, where is it? I'm going to cheat in a minute. I'll copy it from the other machine, I think, because that's easy. I've done the battle file there. But what I need is the IP address for it all. Give me a moment while I grab it from the other machine. It's easier. Still picking up the old settings. All right. A little bit. Hopefully now work. Okay. Oh, still showing the old ones. Oh, okay. I will restart it. Sorry about this. I will restart to make sure it picks up the new version. Technical problems of trying to demonstrate something when it doesn't want to work.
Used to be called the Tomorrow's World syndrome.
Sorry?
It used to be called the Tomorrow's World syndrome.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah. Okay, let's go back up again. Reduce the screen size again.
When you copied across from the other machine, should you have copied something from choices as well?
They should have just copied it across, but hasn't it? Somebody's ignored the oh, I missed. Oh, right. Try and do it the other way. True count. It's gonna be. Not showing it. All right. That might be why. The newer version of the SSL. Okay, that I wasn't anticipating because I haven't been able to test this part of the talk. So it's resources. No, it won't be non-resources, is it? It's in there. Where is it? I forgot where it is.
6.5 hours later.
Chris, we're not seeing your screen.
Yeah, that's a result. Oh, back up. 350 system.
Day 2.
Right, get rid of all that junk now. Let's see if this will work now. That's better. Right, see if we identified it. It's not seeing it yet. It's wanting me to get the IP address. Yeah. System, we're doing it. Oh, I'll have to try and get the IP address. Let's see if we can find it. I'll do it. We'll do it Irish way.
Well, it's the curse of the WEREWROCC.
168.1.2 35 rightly.
Eternity later.
Wow, that's right. 32, not 35 now. Nope. 35. See if I find it now. See if I can now pick it up. Can't find his URL at the moment. But basically, what it should do, it should be able to. Oh no, I hope. There it is. Right. Yeah, that's specified port 1631. Yeah, well, I thought, okay, I'll try that way around. We'll try that way around.
3:28. Many months later.
But I'm going to switch to my live machine.
For our regular viewers, this is what we call the curse of the WEREWROCC.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's the pain in the backside when it don't want to do its job. Okay, let me switch. I'm gonna.
If you're on your live machine.
Yeah, it's live when it don't want to work when you want it to work. And right,
look out for bank card numbers, passwords, anything.
There we are. Hopefully you're now seeing that live machine. Right, you can see it's got the IPP printer there. Ooh. The IPP printer is actually there. I've actually got it, the printer control and all the rest of it set up already. So if I want to send something to it, I'll just find a document.
This month's bank statement.
Nice, something nice and simple. No, that's a. I better turn off that so it doesn't run it. Or is it going to find it? Going to. I find anything. Okay, right. So I've opened up a thing. I want to print it now. Hopefully, I can do it from here. Oh, I don't allow you to print from this program, does it? Typical. Just my luck. I think I can print from. Oh, I don't know. Oh, I'll tell you what. Open up. Numbers. There we are. Just a load of numbers on a page. I've got to click on print. It knows it's going to the print, which is I've just named it print. That's what I've just called it. And Back to print, and it should now start printing to the IPP, printing directly to the printer, which it is. It takes a few seconds to respond. Why goes off and does its job. It will eventually put a message up to say it's printed it, but it can take its time. Oh, well,
You're in a very high screen resolution there, Chris.
yes, I'm a high screen. Sorry about that. I can try and drift that down to.
Wouldn't panic. It's a bit late.
Bring that down. What it's doing, I think it's the printer telling me I've got not using genuine ink cartridges, which I don't use. Doing a screen in the background. Did I actually print? Not showing the printing on the. We want it to work. Okay.
Tomorrow.
Do the old trick of turn it off and turn it back on again on the printer. See if that works.
Eventually.
Rare technology, something playing upon it.
You
so-
realise this is causing extra work for me when I edit this video
Yeah.
up, don't you?
I'll stop the share. I'm very sorry about that. It doesn't. It does work. I have had it working. I can assure you. There's lots of messages here. Usenet is still a thing. Yes, it is definitely still a thing. Unfortunately, don't get much on it, but sorry about that.
These things happen.
It does work. It just didn't want to thing. I don't know why. Perhaps it's because of the problem with the other machine. I don't know. With modern technology, when it wants to play up, it plays up. It might simply be that it got itself confused.
Never mind. It's been nice to see the advancements in the desktop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Pinboard 2 it makes it much more modern and flexible. It's an enhancement basically to Pinboard, and that. But it just unfortunately that it's not playing ball for me on the machine thing. One other thing that I could briefly mention is that there is actually a program. I haven't actually played with it much, so I can try it now and experiment. Let me just try the full screen again, share the screen again. I'll go on to the live machine. But basically, it was a utility to make all to stack them up, so you didn't have to have multiple icons across the icon bar. I can't find it. Anyway, basically, that's basically it then, I'm afraid. There was one general tip I was going to say, that you can potentially speed up the downloading of files by doing an update to root command, but I'll skip that because a lot of people have gone. the two versions, one for the rod stack and one for the wall stack. But you can make things go a lot faster downloading. I have done it myself, and it did make quite a big difference. It's been mentioned and discussed on the wall forum. It does make quite a big difference to downloading stuff through Iris and what have you. Anyway, that's, I'm afraid, my talk for tonight. I'm sorry about the glitches, but modern technology gets in the way, and I hope to build the IPP up from scratch to show how it's doing, but best laid plans and all that.
It proves it's live, Chris. It proves it's live.
I'll probably turn a switch off down, it'll be working again. So, you know, it's typical, but that's about typical.